the immortal Jinx novel, The Bushfight Trials. A novel script for visual interpretation. Creator and writer, Rayon R. Morris. Co-writer, Noviana Allen. Chief editor, Mike Stevenson. Proofreaders, Krisha L. Morris and Selena Menier. Story overview. I never made it aboard that ship of free man. Somewhere between Montego Bay and open water, I slipped the Scrappaz's hold and swam for a coastline I barely recognized in the dark, alive, alone, and empty-handed. Cola is gone, shipped off to Vancouver with the others. KG survived the basement. And now he has a proposition dressed up as a command. Fight my way through the underground bushfight circuit, win enough, prove enough, and I buy myself a reason to cross an ocean and finish what that warehouse started. This is the road to Vancouver. This is where I learn exactly what my body and my will are capable of. One broken rule of biomechanics at a time. Chapter 1. Shallow Wing. The call comes in at 4:47 in the morning, and I already know, before I even answer, that it isn't good news. Good news doesn't call before the roosters do. Unknown number on the screen. I let it ring twice before I pick up. Yeah, you swim well for someone so young. KG's voice, unmistakable, smooth and amused, like a man who lost a fight but never lost the war. I'm almost proud of you. Almost. I sit up in the dark. Every muscle locks tight. Where's Cola? Exactly where she's supposed to be. On her way to a very nice city with a very gray sky. Vancouver, you know it? KG. Listen carefully, little hummingbird, because I'm only saying this once. You want to see her again, you don't just show up. That world doesn't work that way. Everything out there runs on respect and reputation, and right now you have neither. You're just a boy who got lucky in a basement. My grip tightens hard enough to hurt my own hand. Then tell me what you want. The bush fight. Mandeville this Saturday. You fight, you win, you build a name. Enough names, enough wins, and maybe, I let you buy a boat ticket with your own 2 knuckles instead of feeding you to the sea. Lose, and nobody ever hears about Cola again. Not even me. The line goes dead. I sit in the dark a long moment, breathing. Bunton isn't here, Cola isn't here, it's just me. And a man who thinks I'm a boy who got lucky. Let's find out. Mandeville by Saturday night is a different country from the one that exists in daylight, cool hill air, red dirt roads, and behind a cane field, a ring lit by truck headlights and 100 phone flashlights, packed with a crowd that smells like white rum and money-changing hands. Call my first name off a clipboard, and the crowd goes quiet in that specific way. A crowd goes quiet right before something they've been promised. The man across the ring from me is lean, low, and built like a stone wall someone forgot to finish. Scarred knuckles, calm, unreadable eyes. Name's J. Cage, he says, rolling his neck once. Word travel fast in the bush. Everybody wants to see if the stories about the basement are true. Depends who's asking. Then let's find out together, hummingbird. The bell, really just somebody banging a wrench against a car rim, sounds, and J. Cage drops immediately into a stance I've never seen before. Wide base, shoulders rounded forward, chin tucked behind a raised guard, weight sunk so low into his hips, it's like watching a boulder settle into wet sand. I clock it instantly, the way Bunton trained me to read a body before I read a punch. This is a defensive architecture. He's not here to outstrike me. He's here to absorb everything I throw, let my own force bleed itself out against his structure, and counter on the exhale. I ask, circling. Iron Turtle, he says, and doesn't move. I throw a testing jab. He rolls his shoulder into it and barely shifts. The impact travels through his deltoid, disperses across the scapula, and dies somewhere in his lat without ever reaching bone. I throw a harder cross. Same result. He's using his whole skeleton like a shock absorber, distributing force the way a car's crumple zone is engineered to fold instead of transfer energy to the driver. The harder I hit him, the less of it actually lands. That's the problem with power. Power needs somewhere to go. If there's nowhere for it to go, power just becomes wasted effort. I stop throwing power. Bunton's voice surfaces in my head, calm and certain. The hummingbird fist is not power, it's frequency. A hummingbird beats its wings 70 times a second. You don't see the motion, only the hover. If Iron Turtle is built to absorb deep force, then I don't go deep. I go shallow. I go fast. I go exactly as far into the muscle as the nerve cluster sits and not 1 centimeter further. A strike so shallow it barely registers as contact, but repeated at a frequency his shock-absorbing structure was never built to disperse, because you can't distribute what you can't feel coming. I close the distance low and light. weight forward on the balls of my feet, and fire 3 strikes in under a second. Not to his ribs, not to his chest, but shallow, glancing taps along the brachial plexus at the side of his neck. The exact width of 2 fingers, over and over, faster than his nervous system can file the information as a threat worth bracing for. "What is?" J. Cage starts, and his left arm goes heavy mid-sentence, the signal from his shoulder to his hand arriving late and scrambled. "Hummingbird style?" I say quiet. "Shallow wing." I don't even know I've named it until it's already out of my mouth. It just feels true the moment I say it, a strike that never asks the body to absorb anything, because it never goes deep enough to be absorbed. It only asks the nervous system a question faster than the nervous system can answer. J. Cage's stance finally breaks. He staggers a half step, catches himself, and looks at his own arm like it belongs to a stranger. Then he laughs. Real laughter, no bitterness in it at all, and lowers his guard. "Boy, that's a new one." He shakes the arm out, feeling returning to it slowly. "Never seen anybody solve Iron Turtle like that. Not once, not ever." "I got lucky," I say, offering my hand. "No," he says, taking it, studying me with the same measuring look Bunton gave me 2 years ago in a doorway. "You got smart. That's rarer."
Kick it with us next time on the immoral jinx and see who in the next battle, J. Cage or Jinx. What's coming up? Rastacomics, we out.